Welcome back to another video where we literally just build an entire simple little app using the useReducer hook. However, the app is really working. As you can see, we just deposit $11, we just withdraw $1, and our balance was $111. Now our balance is $110. We just withdraw $8, our balance was $110, and now we are at $102, and we can deposit money on it. But the only thing is, our code was kind of quite a little bit not as good as we wanted to. First thing first, of course, there is a lot of things that we can do. I'm just gonna show you guys some ways that we can definitely improve that. The first thing I'm gonna do is the actions. Okay, so what I'm gonna do in this case, I'm gonna add a list of action here. So I'm gonna call this one the deposit action. So I'm gonna add that one in there. I'm gonna do the same thing in this one. I'm gonna call this one withdraw action. Okay, just to kind of put our action somewhere else. So I'm gonna literally move those objects wherever we had them. So I'm gonna move the deposit action right there. I'm gonna also move the withdraw action, which is just an object in another way. Okay, and instead of passing that entire object, I can just pass that name right there, which is deposit action. I'm gonna pass that name right there, which is withdraw action. At least that's not as long as we saw. Second things that we're gonna do is, if we start taking a look, you see here we got state.total everywhere. It's not really good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to kind of destructure things a little bit. So I'm gonna come here and start destructuring everything we need within the state. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna destructure is gonna bring the is deposit. I'm gonna bring is withdraw. Yep. So I'm gonna bring is withdraw. I'm gonna bring deposit amount. I'm gonna bring everything that's within the state. I'm gonna say withdraw amount as well. And lastly, I'm gonna bring the total. I'll call this one total balance instead. I think that makes more clear instead of just adding total. So you need to make sure that you update it everywhere that you have that. So total, so that's gonna need to be total. You see, just the naming, even the naming itself could be refactored, which is something that you can also improve on as a developer. Okay, so we added total balance instead, and then wherever you have total, I'm just gonna replace it with total balance instead. Okay, so that should take care of that. The second thing we're gonna do, instead of using state that, so we're gonna be using the whatever variable that we had, which we already refactored that. So I'm gonna remove that. You see, so I remove that state. Instead, we have total balance. I'm gonna remove state that we have total balance instead. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a shortcut to kind of select everything wherever we have this to kind of make things easier for me. I don't think I have it that many places, so I'm gonna select the state that and click Command D. You see, Command D, I select another one, Command D, select another one, Command D, and I select 5 of them, and I just click delete, and boom, all of them are deleted at the same time, which is really nice shortcut that you can use. At least that looks a little bit more like this. Last thing I can do, I can move those somewhere else a little bit up there. So I'm gonna move that first logic. So I'm gonna move that entire logic. I'm gonna call this one transaction message, something like that. So I'm gonna call this one deposit message. You see, so I add this one in there. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna copy that same thing right there. I'm gonna call this one withdraw message. You got the idea. Withdraw message right there. I'm gonna add this one here, and I added an extra S, so I'll remove that, and now we can just use that deposit message right there. You can just use this one right there instead. So at least that's looking a little bit better. And let's verify if that is working. The last thing we need to do, we might need to move this function outside of that component, just in case that we want to write some unit tests for it. We can do that. We can just literally export that, make sure that we have export, and then if we want to write some unit tests, we can write some unit tests for, and possibly do a little bit of cleanup. We move that as well, so we should literally be good to go. And let's take a look. Yeah, I think that should literally be it. Let's make sure that our application is still working as expected. It is. So if I click deposit, we just deposit $9. Our balance was $100. and then now we are at $109. If I deposit again, we just deposit $9. Our balance was 109. Now we're 128. If we withdraw, we just withdraw $17, and then our balance was 128, and now we're 111. If I do that again, we are good to go. Last thing, if you remember where we said we were gonna add that minus in there as a way to kind of let the user that they withdrawing. So I'm gonna go here, and wherever we have this, which is right there. So what I'm gonna do is this: I'm gonna search wherever I have the transaction message, which is right here. So we need to detect that we are within the withdraw mode, and this is the way that we can check that using this tab. So I can kind of add something right there, right before the B. I literally add a check. So I say, hey, if tab is equal withdraw, then use the minus sign. If not, just use some sort of empty stuff. So I save that, and if I go back here, refresh this and go back to withdraw, and now you can see now we have that minus in there, and if we click deposit, we don't have that minus in there. So again, guys, this is the entire application. Thank you guys so much. If you have fun building this application with this entire series, please head over this link. That there is a link within the description. You should be able to kind of see it, something like this: Axie Mr. on mailing list. Please go ahead here and enter your email address so that you do not miss whenever I release a new video. So go ahead and do that to stay up to date whenever I release something, a video like this before, if you find this one very helpful. Anyway, I hope you at least see us using useReducer, and we're able to kind of build something instead of just like typically increment and decrement things. We're able to kind of see something more in action, like a very simple basic example of a banking little app where we deposit and withdraw money with it. And one last thing, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you do in order for you to be able to watch all my other video. See you in the next video.